Hi there, you're welcome back to our tutorial. These are the materials needed for this. This is going to be a long one, but we're going to ensure that the tutorial is kept short and simple. So you take your tailoring paper and then you fold into half like this. This is 13 inches on folds. Then the other part you also measure 13 inches and then fold it. Thus you have you still have 13 inches on fold on both sides, so that's 13 is going to be like about 26. So the full length is 26 by 26. So you go ahead and then out cut that out. So you have a full length of 26 by 26 but 13 on folds. Now this plate, I use this to get the neck circumference. This is about 6 inches wide, so you just draw it out and then you can cut. And another means is to fold it into four like this, and then you just use the circumference of the plate or cup you have, and just get use just one fourth, like quarter of it is still going to give you the same measurement that round one gave. Then the next thing is to then fold it. It's not what I did the first time. You fold it the first time, fold it again, and fold it again. Please just watch, don't get distracted by the voice over. Just go ahead and fold it and fold it, then open it up. Go ahead and then cut out the circle you drew before. Cut out that circumference that you did, and then you have your next circumference. The next part, going to open this up, and then the lines that you have made, they're going to count about 3 or 4, like 4, depends on how open you want it to be at the back. You count out like 3 or 4 of that line and then cut. This is your back. This is what the back is going to look like. The next part, you go back and fold it into 4 again, like it was before, and then with the measuring rule, you're going to start measuring. For this particular one, I'm doing a size 10. A size 10 meaning that the inches I'm using is 10 inches. So I'm just going to take my pen and then begin to mark out 1 inch, mark out 1 inch. Do same for all the other lines. On each line, you're going to just marking out 1 inch, 1 inch. And okay, no, for this one, they're going to mark it like 10 inches long. It was 12 we did before. I did 13. We removed some, which like it's going to be about 2 inches. So now I'm going to be measuring from that place where you have our next circumference. You're going to measuring 10, and then make this mark, and then you will now go ahead and join them, connect them together with a line, and then go ahead and cut. I hope that is easy. I'm going to try as much as possible to leave a description so that you understand it. When that is done, you literally have your keep the place frame. This is it. This is the frame, right? You have the frame. Now we are going to move on with sewing it. Okay, before you proceed with sewing it, the next part, you take your rule and then you begin to mark. You need to make a line, right? You're going to mark in 1 inch, 1 inch for each of those lines, those patterns that came out when you folded the paper. You're going to be marking out 1 inch, 1 inch. So in between, I said we measured out 10 inches, right? So in between, you're going to be having like 8 lines. Now, when you include the down part and the up part, it becomes 10, like 9, 10. But in between, you have like 8 lines. But if you want it to be bigger, you're going to increase the measurement. So you can have like 10 lines in between. If it's for a size 12, you can have like 14 lines in between if it's for a size 16. I don't know if you get that. Then you go ahead and then mark it and then connect them together. The next step is to get your fabric. Now I took just 1 yard of my fabric and then I folded it into 4, and so it can be easy for me to mark at once and cut. You fold into 4 and then you're going to measure 1.5 inch, make connect it together like the way I'm doing. 1.5 inch, mark it and connect it together, and then you go ahead and cut. Do that for like almost all the fabric, right? Because you might be needing all for this particular tutorial. Go ahead and then keep them properly, ensure that it doesn't shift. Then you begin to cut, because this is what you've been needing to sew on the tailoring paper that you already have mapped out. Okay, so most time what I do when I want to sew, I like to start from the center. So I take a pin and then fold the other edge, like fold it so that it doesn't tear. Then you take your fabric and then watch what I'm doing. You fold into This is it. You fold this way, fold it into this way into the middle, and then you place that on the paper, on coloring paper, and then you begin to run it. You can start from anywhere. Me, I prefer to start it from the middle. That is easy for me to coordinate. It's easy for me to coordinate it. I don't want the paper to tear, because sometimes from past experience I see that when I start from the edge and then I don't do this and I just did now, I don't know how to. It tears. It doesn't obey me most times. Okay, so just ensure that you just do yours. This is very, from here it's very simple. So just pick one, go ahead, fold, and then sew. So you always have to start with the straight lines, the ones that come down. Then the other one that forms the web, you will now do that one after you are done sewing all of these ones that come down. Okay, so when you're done with that, you just go ahead and then begin to follow the lines and sew on top of it. It's supposed to look this way. Now when I start, I always start from, I always leave the edge, the two edges, like I leave the up part and then the down part. All right, so here I'm just trying to show you how to attach more fabric, just in case you're sewing and then the strip you have is not long enough for a particular part. You just go ahead and join it like this. It's very easy. I think if you have been sewing for a while, you should know how to do that. Just join the fabric and then continue sewing. Now this is how to end the work. All right, so for the finishing, what you do, you just go ahead and the right side of the fabric is going to be facing the paper, and then the back side is facing the machine, like it's directly on the machine. And then you just go ahead and sew it down like this. You're going to be sewing it down like this on the paper. So it's just do it neat work, sewing it down like this. When you are done sewing, the next part is to sew the front. So just watch carefully. So when I done with that part, the next part is do the front. So you just go ahead and fold it on top of it, and then you begin to stick it gradually, sew it gradually. Ensure that it's touching the back, like ensure that what you're sewing directly on top of the other part that you have folded. When you're doing your own, you understand it better. When you're done with that downside, you go ahead and then do the same thing for the up part. Remember I said you leave the up and the down one. You go ahead and now do the same thing for the up part, and that is it. So the next part is to make a strip that you use to tie for the neck. So this is me just sewing a long strip that I'll be using to add attach for my neck. Now, so the next part, I'll take it to my machine and then first attach it to the neck, like that edge, the up part of the neck. I don't know how best to explain it. Then I'll take another strip, the same thing I did for the up and down parts. I'll do the same thing for the side. Attach it from the back first, then fold on top. Now when I'm folding on top, see the way I kept the rope. This rope is for tying, right? It's to tie it on my neck. So I bring out that rope and then I sew on top of it, right? I go ahead and fold this and sew on top of the rope. You know, already attached it before. I go ahead and now sew it on top of the rope. When I'm done, I'll just do the finishing touches by folding the edge, the downside, fold the edge, the upside, I'll fold the edge on top of that rope that I'm using as the one I'm tying. Do you get? Then I wrote top stitch on it. So meaning I'm going to be having like two lines on top of that. So when I'm done, the next part is just to go ahead and iron. Then you go ahead and begin to tear off your paper, and you are done with this beautiful piece. This is it. This is what it looks like. Thanks for watching.